Hello and welcome to another edition of Currently in Quincy. I'm Joe Catalano, and today Margaret Laforest is here from the United States Naval and Shipbuilding Museum at the Quincy Shipyard for a summer update on what's happening on board the USS Salem. First, though, we take a look at the weather and the news for you. Currently in Quincy, we have a mix of sun and clouds, very pleasant at 78 degrees right now. Really a beautiful afternoon coming up with mostly sunny skies and temperatures in the comfortable mid-80s. It'll be drier tonight than it has been the past few nights as the humidity checks out for a bit. Lows drop off into the lower 60s. Tomorrow turns a little unsettled, especially in the afternoon. Could see some showers, maybe the rumble of thunder. It'll be rather hazy and muggy. Could have some more of that smoke return tomorrow as well, with highs into the mid-80s. But the rain that we do get will clear out for Sunday. Looks like the pick of the weekend with a mix of sun and clouds. Comfortable again. High Sunday into the low 80s and very pleasant on Monday. Lots of sunshine, dry conditions, temperatures again in the low 80s. Partly sunny, 78 Quincy right now. Checking out the news for you today, a new regional 911 dispatch center at the new Quincy Public Safety Complex on C Street will likely be up and running in about a year. Mayor Thomas Koch says the city of Quincy and the town of Milton have been awarded an $8 million state grant to create the new center to minimize response times in both communities and create some financial efficiencies.
It's a very unique process, and it's professionalizing the whole operation. Not that our call takers aren't professional, but there's certain certifications and tests and so forth now that come with this as well. So I think it'll make us a more professional operation overall. Obviously meeting the demands of the residents with the 911 calls, but there's some serious training involved in it, and looking forward to that. And we can help out our neighboring communities. Why not? So I think it's a good thing.
The mayor will hire a new civilian director, deputy director, and information technology specialist for the new dispatch center. Koch says that unions representing police officers and firefighters must still approve of the new center. He says one other community may also become part of that new center in the future. A former Quincy funeral home will be converted into a residential apartment complex. The former Sweeney Funeral Home on Elm Street will be transformed into 3 two-bedroom apartments in the existing building. A garage will be added on to the back of the building, accessible from Miller-Style Road, to provide parking for 6 vehicles. Attorney Robert Fleming told the Zoning Board of Appeals this week that every effort has been made to ensure that development fits in with the residential neighborhood.
We're very aware of the brook, and we want to protect the brook. And I think Eric did a fantastic job doing that with this whole design and drive into, to provide, 6 parking spaces for 3 units. We think it's a great job. It does allow, the drive does allow for, in our world today, for the FedExes and Amazons to come in, quickly, and to pick packages. So I think I commend my team for doing a great job. And Brian, with the existing residents, it's difficult sometimes, but he did a tremendous job, designing it for nice 3 units, all 2 bedrooms as well. So we think it fits and maintains the character of the neighborhood.
Now, Ward 2 Councilor Richard Ashe expressed concern about inadequate parking for visitors or delivery vehicles. However, board members said they felt the plan was a good use of the property, and they approved the proposal unanimously. The same developer is also proposing a 5-story, 7-unit apartment building with 16 parking spaces in the former funeral home's parking lot right across the street. Well, Quincy election officials are preparing for the September 1st state primary election. City Clerk Nicole Crispo explains that mail-in voting will begin shortly and early voting takes place in August.
September 1st, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. The polling locations will all be open across the city. We also provide last day to register to vote in person, August 22nd, till 5 p.m. here at City Hall. That online you can register up until 11:59 p.m. on August 22nd. Early voting starts on August 22nd and 23rd here at City Hall, 8:30 to 2:30. August 24th through August 28th, 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Last day to request a ballot by mail will be August 25th. And the postcards from Secretary Galvin, the mass mailing, should be hitting your mailboxes as we speak.
Crispo says registered voters who have not yet returned their city census forms have been notified that they are now on the inactive voter list and must return the census forms as soon as possible. Inactive voters may still cast ballots. However, they must show proof of Quincy residency. Well, the Quincy Quarry and Granite Workers Museum is celebrating the opening of their new exhibit hall and function space. The city recently completed the reassembly of an 1830 granite house that was moved from Willard Street to the museum location off Verschutti Drive in West Quincy. Mayor Thomas Koch says the new space is perfect for the museum's programs.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, you got by there 20 years ago. The site was just overgrown.
Yeah.
You know, people that may have driven by maybe stopped and take a quick peek, but now he's assembled all these artifacts and tools and things we use at the various woodsheds. So it's really a good take now, and I give all the credit to Al. Yeah. I do want to thank Kenny McIsaac, a Quincy local carpenter, and John Fulsham, a Quincy local business owner who builds, between the two of them, they built the place. John handled the granite aspect of it, and Kenny did all the woodwork part of it. So both of them love Quincy, and both of them enjoy our history. So it was a labor of love for them as well.
The McDonald family donated the house to the city, which used over $900,000 in community preservation funds to disassemble the building, move it, and then reassemble it, complete with heating and air conditioning, restroom facilities, and handicapped accessible features. The structure is made of Quincy granite and is on the National Register of Historic Places. Well, a Dutch tall ship is visiting Quincy. The 164-foot-long, three-masted topsail schooner, the Oosterschelde, arrived at Marina Bay in Quincy yesterday. It's open for free public tours today through Sunday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. The ship was built in 1918. It is the largest restored Dutch freight ship based in Rotterdam. Ship was part of the Parade of Sail in Boston Harbor to celebrate America 250. It can accommodate 120 visitors at a time. Interestingly, it has a 6-cylinder, 450-horsepower John Deere motor for days with no winds. From Quincy, it'll be heading next to Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and then on to Canada. It's our check of news for you today. Coming up, Margaret Laforest is here, president of the United States Naval and Shipbuilding Museum. From a different kind of ship, we'll get an update. That's next.
Next time.
Welcome back. We're kind of continuing our maritime-themed programming this week. It was Quincy Bay Race Week back on Monday. That's coming up this weekend. But today, Margaret Laforest is here from the United States Naval and Shipbuilding Museum on board the USS Salem at the Quincy Shipyard for a kind of a more modern ship. Margaret.
Modern, 1949.
Quote unquote, right, yeah.
Yeah.
How are you?
We're great.
Good to see you. Thanks for coming over.
Always a pleasure. I really appreciate everybody's efforts here at QATV.
Yeah, it's funny. We were just talking before the program about the history that we have with the Salem and how it all started. Well, it's 1994, right, is when it first arrived in the city.
Yes, but it was in 1988 or 89 when I was a student at Broadmeadows in Ron Adams' classroom, and we were just sharing some memories from that, where we started our oral history interviews of shipyard workers. Right. And we were at your QATV studio on School Street, and you've got quite the archive of history for us.
Yes, indeed. Well, at first, the city was hoping to get the USS Lexington, an aircraft carrier, right? But it wouldn't fit through the Fall River Bridge.
And I think, thank God, every day I don't have aircraft-sized carrier-sized problems, and we just have, you know, a heavy
cruisers.
Just a 717-foot heavy cruiser.
Quincy built.
Yeah.
We should mention. So
of course.
It itself is part of the history of the city as well.
Yes, and the USS Salem is part of the Historic Naval Ships Association, which is an international organization. I'm actually serve on their board of directors, and the Battleship Cove, which has the Massachusetts and the Kennedy, which were Quincy built, and of course my first love, the USS Lexington down in Texas, are also active in that organization.
Yeah, so this has been a big part of your life for a long time, too.
It has.
Since 5th grade, really, right?
Yeah, 7th grade. 7th grade. Yep.
Okay. So you're committed to it.
Quite a Quincy Public Schools education. I think Ron Adams invented experiential learning with our class.
So why do you love this so much, Margaret?
Oh, geez, Joe. Honestly, what started as a student project, but was something that I continued into high school, and I was saying how when the ship came in, Mayor Sheets at the time mailed me a plane ticket to come home from college in Florida, and as an adult started volunteering, and really it was life after elected office, and I said I'm involved in so many good causes in the city, and this community has such heart, right? Really, people just give, whether it's through the Housing Community Council, the Neighborhood Association, through youth sports and or the yacht clubs. You talked about Quincy Bay Race Week, such a fun family activity for me, but as I contemplated what matters with my time in philanthropy, it came back to just the USS Salem kind of being undervalued, under-resourced, and just thought I am going to put my efforts there. And I wish someone, I chair the board of directors. It's a very small group of volunteers, but the grit and heart and soul and passion that we all share for preserving our city's proud shipbuilding past, right? And, our military appreciation. And I think that's something Quincy does resoundingly well. It is these cultural organizations that keep our history alive, that have a very small group of people putting the time and talents and treasure into it. So we need all the help we can get over there, but we are truly grateful to the city and community. And so, I just feel it is such a part of my life story. But today I'm taking a day off of my day job to volunteer at the ship and to come be here with you.
Vacation.
This is my vacation day. People are like, are you crazy? Well, let's not answer that.
But I mean, really, you have seawater running through your veins. You're the city's director of coastal resiliency, right?
Correct.
As well, you're Housneck native, so the ocean's been a big part of your life.
And that's truly is a part of what started this, right? So I live on the Housneck waterfront with a dock in my backyard, and as a child, I would see the ships leaving the shipyard, coming by my home, and I had that I joke I had my boat license for my car license, and really grew up with the Boston Harbor Islands as part of my backyard. And then as a counselor, had a lot of coastal issues, right? The FEMA flood map revisions that really were substantially updated, and a significant amount of efforts, and really, dove deep into that to help my constituents. And my own house is, while I'm directly on the waterfront, it's not in the flood zone, right? Because it's at a higher elevation. But coastal matters, maritime matters, military matters are, of personal concern. My dad served in the Air Force. I have a long family history of military service in the Navy, especially, and also Army during World War II. So just something I personally feel I give my time and talents to.
It's a great story. Your personal story, but the Salem is a great story,
and that's what we're here for today, right?
I know. Let's show some pictures, right?
Let's do it.
Yeah, speaking of the Salem, let's show her off in her full glory.
Yes, so this was something I'm super excited about. This is called Dressing Ship.
Looks
and so
awesome.
People are seeing this, with the tall ships in Sail Boston this past week, you've seen the signal flags. So Dressing Ship happens on dates authorized by the United States Navy. And so Flag Day, 4th of July, the ship's birthday, or typically holiday celebrations or special occasions would be when you'd go through the Dressing Ship. And this, we were able to acquire the signal flags and the cable line to hoist them up with funding from the Community Preservation Grant. And we put this in a few years ago to be ready for Quincy 400. And so Flag Day, Quincy 400 was not Mother Nature's cooperation.
No.
You really need a perfect 10. It's a lot of work, and we do it, of course, with volunteers and small group compared to the 1,600 sailors aboard. But we got it done, and she sure looks beautiful.
I mean, look at that, really showing off her true colors. And thankfully, this year, Flag Day was gorgeous.
It was gorgeous, so we got to dress ship again. can.
Yeah.
And then myself and Jerry Iannelli, who's our volunteer coordinator, Quincy resident, is just such a great go-to for us for all of our preservation and projects. And we were part of the Grand Marshals of the Flag Day Parade with the history keepers that the mayor recognized. So truly an honor.
Nice, nice, nice. Speaking of restorations, we have some photos to show folks of before and after restoration projects that are going on, right?
Yeah.
On board. Yeah, there's a lot going on, I know. And it's fun, we'll talk about this in just a second.
Sure.
I just want to mention how 10,000 hours per year your volunteers donate.
Volunteer labor.
Yeah.
It's a value of over $350,000.
It's incredible. It's
And,
incredible.
and honestly, we're
Yep.
probably light in our calculations.
More than likely, yeah. Folks just give more time than you know about, I'm sure.
Yeah.
What are we looking at here, Margaret?
Yeah, so this is Jerry and I on the Hancock Adams Common.
Yeah.
This was when Quincy celebrated America 250.
Yes.
All of the historic attractions were invited to have a table to engage with the public and share with them and encourage visitation. So, really what we're seeing the city of Quincy step up and do and being able to draw support and raise awareness. We're a small organization. We don't have a marketing budget. We're 100% volunteer run, and so this was a really nice opportunity for community engagement.
Good exposure, right? Let folks know. Yeah.
Right, and it wasn't just Quincy residents. We were talking to
Yes.
people from Wisconsin, people that lived in the city of Boston.
neat.
People really came. They look for things to do when they're visiting the area.
Sure. Not only that, but new people are coming to the city all the time,
Correct.
right? So,
Yeah.
so that wouldn't know. Yeah.
We try to track our visitation, right? So we typically each year get visitors from all 50 states. We get many of it international visitors, and this year we started last year with the Quincy Heritage Day. So let's track how many of the 351 municipalities in Massachusetts are we getting visitors from. So we're trying to figure that out this year.
Okay, you're doing that. So you're doing that again this
Yeah, we
year?
have our interns kind of capturing data. So
Okay. Was that September, October?
this year it's going to be, I think it's the last Saturday in September.
September, okay.
Yeah, I don't know if they've officially announced the date, but that's when it was last year.
Okay, yeah. So every historic site in the city is open, and there's
Yeah.
Connecting transportation too for
Correct.
folks to use. Yeah.
The USS Salem was the top visited attraction. We had 600 visitors.
Awesome.
It was great.
Oh, that's great. Excellent. Next photo here to show folks. I think it's a restoration project that you're working
Yes,
with.
so this, when you come into the parking lot and you
Yep.
look up, this draws your eye, and this is the main battery director, and you can see it's pretty rusty, and it's just so not reflective. If you go below deck, you could close your eyes and think it's 1949. We're in very good shape,
Yeah.
but everybody paints in the Navy, and we have a small crew of preservation. This is a real big ticket item for us.
Looks like it,
And
yeah.
this is some representatives from Local 7, the Iron Workers Union. They donated their labor, their engineering, their scaffolding equipment. They set it up. This is set up on the bow side. They're going to have to put it around to the stern side. And then also our crane, the aircraft hangar crane, is going to get this scaffolding. So big ticket items,
Okay.
big projects, high impact, high visibility,
Right.
and of course, let's get that rust down.
Yeah, absolutely. It's structurally it's fine. It's just rusty, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just
so
needs
it's
to be-
really cosmetic,
Yeah.
and we're in really great shape. You think about the war history of the Lexington, and whereas Salem was more of a lady of diplomacy.
Yeah, right.
And,
Yeah. Never fired her
but
guns in
she's in better
anger, right?
shape, right? So you
Right.
talk about hull integrity and thing that you have concerns for these museum ships. Salem's approaching 80 years old.
Wow. Yeah. You have to think about
So,
that.
but
yeah.
what people see and what the perception is, right? You can see that rust coming over the forward bridge, and here's some of the. This was actually a training exercise. You see in the back, Sean Adams. He runs the training apprenticeship program,
Oh, okay.
and some of his apprentices that were there over a series of days getting this project up for us.
So you're an educational program as well as a museum.
Well, that's it, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of these apprentices would need to train high locations
Yeah.
on bridges, and so they're able to. They actually on the dress ship, they tighten the cable for us and have been able to rig things to get when we bought an air compressor to get it on board. So really grateful to our local unions for the donated labor when they can,
Absolutely.
and community partnerships are so invaluable, and really, we don't leave everything on the table. And
Yeah. So folks should reach out, right?
yeah, if you have something to offer, I mean, yes. And too, it goes the other way, right?
Yeah.
When it's,
Well, right.
hey, we want to do something, I'm happy to work you to yes. And if you see us as a resource, by all means.
Maybe a neat venue for some event,
Yeah, we try. We hosted last year some outdoor movies on the
Yeah.
Fantail. We partnered with Coolidge Corner Theater. I think we're going to do that again September
good.
and October.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll let you know when we have some dates on that.
Yeah, please do, because we can let folks know about that for sure. Absolutely. I think we have a couple more to show folks.
Sure.
some before and after photos
Yep.
here.
So this is actually a volunteer project, and both of these and the one before, I should mention, thank you to Mayor Koch, to the City Council, to the Community Preservation Committee. All of this preservation work you're doing is supported by the Community Preservation Fund. So this is a volunteer project, and as is the next one. This is one of the mounts on the main deck.
Okay.
And the next one, this is up in the 04 and 05 level inside the superstructure. So you see some before and after pictures.
Yes, dramatic difference actually.
It is.
It really brings it right back to life.
Yeah, I don't know that the photos even do it justice, but
I think you're right.
the
yes.
amount of man hours that are, getting down, they have to needle gun and bring the paint down to then resurface it.
Yeah, I mean, just, you think, oh, just a little paint and you're done, right? And this probably took a week at least.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I bet.
Many hours, yep.
Sure. So good for them for doing that.
And all kinds of other ones are underway. This is our museum, the ham radio, for any ham radio enthusiasts.
Yes.
We operated the radio room as part of all of the museum ships that participate. And I think I sent you the stats there of how many people they connected with.
Yes, so let's see, you made 332 contacts, 17 ships, 19 countries, and 39 states.
Really, so quite a reach. Just the 24-hour period, they operate the radio room so that people can have radio contacts, and we mail them like it's called a QSL card, and people have their own kind of unique identifying card. So they send us a self-addressed envelope, and we mail them back, kind of like a certificate saying you officially were on the radio.
Oh, it's a point of pride actually for these enthusiasts, to get those QSL cards and try and get as many as possible and from as far away as possible.
It's unique locations, So it was great. So that was the Prendergast family, and they volunteer and run that event for us every year.
Nice. Now, so is the actual radio on the ship functioning?
They're using modern equipment.
Okay, all right,
But they're in the space.
Okay, all right. So
whether they could operationalize, I'd have to ask them on that.
Right.
I know they use the modern technology. Something about the bands and how you connect and what they're able to track it on.
Yeah. So, but fun, and educational as well, and also get your word out there, right? That you exist.
Right. I mean, you think about how much you reach. We have a really strong social media presence with who we're able to connect with, and it's really interesting and unique to say how people interact and what matters to them. And I know for a relative of mine, served in World War II, ham radio was a passion. And so it's nice to see that hobby continue.
Yeah, and don't forget that. Really, the Salem was due to be scrapped. It was on the list, right? To be scrapped. So we would not have this resource had it not been for this effort.
And I think it's important because, as you're saying, so many new people moving to Quincy, we have such a proud shipbuilding past, especially at the height of World War II. And, that story needs to be told and preserved and celebrated.
Well, it goes back before that. It goes back to the early 1900s,
correct.
Right?
Yes, correct.
Quantum,
Yes.
And Hausnack as well.
Right.
Yeah. So
and the old Thomas Watson, right?
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Founder of the ship. Yeah. So
a
century of shipbuilding, anyways.
Yeah. At least. Yeah. For folks who for folks who don't know, then.
Yeah.
How do you get to the museum, Margaret?
Right, so I should remind people because forever you could access us off the rotary at the base of the Fort River Bridge.
Yeah.
However, a few years ago we did move inside the shipyard. So if you're on South Street across from Pete's Bar and Grill, that's the entrance that you'll use to get into us, and we're right around the back, follow around the back, 549 South Street, Pier number 3. And we welcome visitors. We're open for the summer, Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays, 10 to 4. And then in September, we'll go to just Saturdays and Sundays through November. So we are open seasonally. And admission varies from $5 to $20. I know we have a slide up incoming here.
We don't have a slide, but we can tell folks.
A photo, okay. The Mass Cultural Council offers a Card to Culture program, so if anybody has a Mass Health card, Healthcare Connector card, an EBT card, or a WIC card, they're able to get $5 admission to the museum.
That's great.
And otherwise, it's $15 for veterans, military, and students, and $20 for adults.
Okay, very good. We have time enough to talk about the Waveforms exhibit as well.
Yes, that's a really unique exhibit. We have a volunteer who's a graduate, who was a Berkeley graduate and who's now in graduate school. And they're doing something with sound waves to then, kind of in a laser and visualize the ship. So and they mimic various sounds that the ship would have had when she's in service.
Oh.
So it's pretty cool, and that's running weekends through the end of July.
all
So
right.
Peter Hahn is our volunteer, and he has done a few projects on board. So you really, when I said to you, hey, you want to do something on board? How can we get you to yes? We really try and make
obviously.
connections for people of how they want to connect with the ship. We do that. We have a lot of Eagle Scout projects that have happened through the years. We
Yeah.
just had one wrap up making some display cases.
Nice.
We have paranormal tours, which is also different group that is making their connections, and those are very popular.
Yes, I'm sure. Yes,
Yeah.
that's been going on for a while too, actually.
It has. So Don DeCristofaro
Yeah.
manages those for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, produces a program here as
He
well.
does,
QATV,
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he speaks on it at other libraries and.
The Sea Witch is
The
her
Sea
nickname,
Witch.
right? Yeah.
Yes.
The website, best way to get a hold of you, Margaret,
Yep.
and get more information.
Sure, it's
Okay.
uss-salem.org.
Yep.
We're also on Facebook and Instagram.
Okay.
And we welcome volunteers. Like I said, we're a 100% volunteer run.
Yep.
So if you have if you're listening at home, or you know someone who's especially the retired trades skills,
Right.
we have a really great familial group of doing everything from painting and projects to, running our HVAC system, or marketing and visitor experience and giving guides. And so we are participating in the Quincy Ambassadors Program. We have partnered with the Quincy Public Schools for the YouthWorks program through Mass Hire. Bob Damon has the History and Heritage Docent Program. So we have a lot of people on board supporting us, but it's increases in the summer, but we could use a lot of help. So
Sure.
you don't have to be retired. I'm not retired.
That's right.
I'm busy. I still make time. So anybody interested, we'd love to have you. We love hearing stories. Almost every weekend we have somebody who, I worked at the shipyard, my relative worked at the shipyard, a crew member of the Salem or their family.
Yep.
And those are the stories. And to your point of my why and why do I keep going, that's what drives
It's
me.
for the people.
Yeah.
Great to catch up. Thank you so much, Margaret.
Thank you, Joe.
Come by anytime.
Yeah, will do.
Great weekend to visit the Salem this weekend for the most part. Today, really gorgeous. Lots of sunshine, dry conditions. The smoke is gone. Temperatures in the mid-80s. Little unsettled tomorrow, but not a washout. Maybe some storms around in the afternoon. A little more humid. Mid-80s. Beautiful on Sunday and Monday, too. Thanks again to Margaret Laforest for joining us from the United States Naval and Shipbuilding Museum.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you to our crew. Thank you for watching. Monday, Sharon Driscoll from the Quincy Chamber of Commerce stopping by for an update. Meantime, visit our website, QATV.org. All of our latest news, information, video on demand, live streaming, and much more. For all of us here at QATV, I'm Joe Catalano. Have a great weekend.